everyone, and welcome back. Today we are going to direct sow some Nigella so that way it can winter over here in this garden bed and I can use it next year in my cut flower garden. And hi, if you're new here, my name is Kristy. I'm located in Massachusetts Zone 6A and my average first frost date is approaching. Today is September 21st and my average first frost date is going to be October 3rd. Sometimes it can push to October 10th. So we're getting super close and I am planting these very late. Now I'm going to be direct sowing again, like I said, Nigella. I have a few varieties and I'm going to be digging into my vegetable garden and we're going to turn about 80% of it or more into a cut flower garden for my flower stand. This year I decided to open up a flower stand at the end of my driveway and it has been going so well and I really need to pick up those spring flowers. So direct seeding these to overwinter for next year for earlier blooms is going to be a must. So this is going to be the first time I'm direct sowing these. Fall is upcoming this week and I am super excited and I'm hoping I'm not too late planting them. I did get some seeds from Select Seeds and I was hoping to do this about 2 weeks ago, but I'm just optimistic since it has been warmer. We're still having cool nights. It's going to still be in the 50s, almost 60s at night. So I think I might have a chance, but these do tend to take a little bit of time to germinate. So fingers crossed this works. So I do have a few varieties that we're going to be planting today. Now this prior was a green bean bed. I used this for some of my bush beans. I took the time yesterday to pull them out and we harvested anything that was left. I even was able to save some of the pods so I could have seeds for next year. However, I won't be planting them, but they're very good for seed swapping, or I do plan on giving them away for free at my flower stand. So I was able to put in a order with Select Seeds. And I really wanted to get some kind of varieties in that were able to winter over here in my Zone 6 garden. And behind me, we have a raspberry and blackberry bed. And I am definitely going to be cutting into here. And I'm thinking I might have a few volunteer cherry tomatoes over here since the chipmunks have been enjoying them so much. But this bed will just basically be for my Nigella. I am not doing anything special by putting rows or anything. I'm literally just going to mostly take these 3 varieties. I really wanted to have some different colors in here and just sprinkling them about and then hoping for the best, and then maybe next year will be a little bit more on top of it. And I do also have this variety too. We'll see how it is. I was looking on the back of the seed packet and it does say it is recommended to sow these outdoors and not to start them inside. So that is a plus. It says to direct sow them anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks before your first frost. Now we're about 3 weeks, so I might be lucky. I'm hoping that the first frost might be getting pushed back a little bit because the temperatures have been actually pretty mild this September. We've been mainly in the 70s, so hopefully it will be a slow cool down. And the planting depth says about a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm honestly just going to sprinkle these over the bed and I'm just going to water them in. So hopefully they'll get some good contact on the soil. And I won't be putting any more compost on top of it. So again, just sprinkling them in, watering them in very well and making sure that I stay on top of this bed and watering it daily so it can get some good germination. On the back of the seed packet, it also mentions that the sprout time is anywhere from 7 to 21 days. So we'll keep an eye on it and see how long it does take. So I have a pink, I also have white and a blue. I also might sprinkle in some of this purple. I was hoping to put it in another bed. I don't think some of my direct sown feverfew took, so I might put this over there. So we shall see. So this will be a last minute decision on where this is going to go. So I'm going to put the camera back and this bed is actually already prepped. I weeded it. It does have some leftover cherry tomatoes. As I mentioned, the chipmunks really like the cherry tomatoes and I have been giving them all of the tomatoes I have split so they hopefully stay away from my other ones. So this is my first year planting out cool hardy annuals. I watched a lot of the Lisa Mason Ziegler's podcast and any of her YouTube videos. I also have her cool flower book. It does mention in her book that I should be able to overwinter these. On the back of the seed packet, it says zones 7 to 10. I am zone 6A, and then this one says fall sow in zones 8 to 10. So that's why I'm kind of just going to heavily sow. We'll see what happens. If they do not take, I'm not going to worry. I can just get some more seed packets and do this for the early spring and plant them out while it's still cool out. It does say you can direct sow in the early to mid summer for continuous blooms. So we'll always give that a shot if these don't take. So let's get to it. All right, so we have our packets right here, and I'm literally just going to sprinkle. I'm not sure if I really wanted to do it by color, mix it all in together. I think I might just mix it just for that nice effect of everything just all over the place. So let's see if that works. So let's get these in, and then we'll give it a good water. So the first one is going to be the Love a Mist Mulberry Rose. Again, these are from Select Seeds. And what's really nice is that the seeds are actually pretty big, so it's easy to be able to use your fingers for them. I'm also going to leave some space over here. I do plan on using my cattle panel next year for trellising cherry tomatoes, since I'm going to be getting rid of most of my garden boxes for vegetables, turning it into flower beds. So I'm going to give at least a good 10 inches or so over here so I can plant my cherry tomatoes. This way I can tie them up and they can trellis along here and still give me some good space for flowers. And up next we have our white Love a Mist. Again, I'm just going to sprinkle them in. I think it will be really nice to see them all mixed in together. And last is the blue variety, which we'll sprinkle in and mix in as well. And I think I actually might just put all of them in here, just in case if some of them don't make it or get eaten by the birds. That is one thing I'm kind of worried about when I am direct sowing, is how much it's actually going to take, how much is going to actually get eaten, and I don't know. So we'll see. So maybe the more the merrier. If you're new here, just to let you know, I overseed a lot. And I'm trying to make sure I get close to the edges. I don't want to waste any space. Now, I know this might be a little bit more like some chaos gardening, but I don't mind at all. These seeds are much smaller. I probably should have put these somewhere else, but you know what? That's how we roll here. We kind of just go with the flow. So I am by no means an expert, but I am trying to see what I can get in, and I love to experiment. Winter sowing will also be really big for myself as well. And I'm gonna try and see how much I can get winter sowing with a cut flower garden to try and save some room on grow racks. Ooh. And there's lots of bumblebees by these raspberries. And just like that, we're done. We're gonna give it a good water. All right, and that should do it. I also do plan on putting some tags over here as well. That way I know exactly what I have been growing. Another reason why I love making these videos is it holds me accountable. And if I forget if I did something, I can always go back and watch a video. So everything is in. I hopefully didn't wash too much away because the Nigella Blue Stars, the seeds are so small. And that's one thing I always tend to worry about with direct sowing, especially when they're super small, is if I'm going to wash it away and they're not going to be as nicely spaced out as I was hoping for. But we're gonna make sure I water everything at night after work, right after dinner time. And I always am coming through and I'm still watering all of my vegetables in here. So they'll always get watered. And then hopefully in the next 7 to 21 days, we will see some germination. I was a little bit worried when I was doing my blue plurum. It was taking forever, but it did pop through. I am also going to be removing these and making another blue plurum bed as well. We shall see when I get to moving all of these raspberries and blackberry bushes. They're still producing so nicely, so I'm in no rush. And that concludes direct sowing some Nigella, and I'm super excited to start turning these beds into flower beds for my roadside flower stand. Definitely stay tuned. I'm trying to direct sow as much and winter sow as much, so I'm not taking up so much room on my grow rack. So definitely stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated. And as always, go ahead and click like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I will see you all next time. Happy gardening. Bye.